Shalom, family, and welcome back to my channel. I am just going to cover the three last cards on the Natasha Jonas versus Lauren Price card. Man, these were some good all-female fights tonight. The first card that I'll cover is Karis Artisaw versus Raven Chapman, and that was for the BBBFC British Feather title. First of the last three fights, Karis had been out of the ring for a little over a year, but fought well once she shook off the ring rust. In round two, she landed a straight left square on Raven's chin, knocking her down. Raven fought well, throwing overhand rights that weren't catching Artingstall, as she just couldn't seem to find her distance throughout the whole fight. But Artingstall, on the other hand, did find her distance. She started strong with the jab, followed by the two as the fight went on, and that rust that I was talking about kind of went away. Karis didn't abandon the straight rear either. Though she didn't procure another knockdown throughout the fight, she landed a unanimous decision, taking her to 7-0 versus Chapman, who is now 9-2. Now the second fight is the fight that, aside from the main card, the co-main, which is what a lot of us wanted to see because it involved Caroline Dubois. And I said earlier on a live when I spoke to this fight that this was going to be Caroline's toughest fight yet. And with that said, Caroline has not had a lot of tough fights, but I knew this chick was awkward. I knew she let her hands go. She appears to have some strength, so I knew it was going to be a little tougher for Caroline. Her opponent's name was Bomi Ray Shin. Caroline's WBC World Light title was up for grabs, and boy did she defend it, y'all. Little did I realize how tough that this fight actually was going to be. Caroline boxed so very well for 8 rounds. She started on the outside, throwing combinations, picking shots, and turning Shin. Shin definitely came with her own plans. She came forward relentlessly with a variation of awkward feints, unpredictable shots from varying angles, and she had this odd timing. And though Dubois stayed on point, getting her shots in through Shin's odd style, Bomi Ray was landing as well. There were a lot of times that they were trading. Shin also utilized these little dirty tactics throughout the fight, such as cuffing shots, pulling Caroline's head down, clinching into a headlock, putting Caroline Dubois in a headlock, pushing Caroline's head down, applying the weight on her. Come round 4, Caroline was visibly tired, breathing from her mouth, and it became worse as the fight progressed. By round 8, she was completely out of gas and visibly irritated when she would go to the corner. I thought for sure Caroline was going to get knocked out, you guys, by the 10th round, which was the final round. She was just completely spent, but she hung in there, garnering a majority decision. But there was a judge by the name of Jae Bong Kim who scored the fight 95-95. And I just want to say, we see you, and you need glasses. You need your ass kicked, or both. Anyway, congratulations to Caroline Dubois. She's now 11-0 with 1 draw. And according to Shane McGuigan, which is her coach, she had actually been battling a virus for the past 10 days. So it kind of made sense when you actually see how tired and she actually did look sick towards the end of the fight, when I think back on her appearance. But now, on to the main card, the main bout, the main fight. Natasha Jonas versus Lauren Price. This fight went just as I expected. This is what I would call a reluctant changing of the guard. You know, Jonas was pompous and very condescending, a mean girl type of deal at the outset of the matchup. The way she spoke of, and treated Lauren was, in my opinion, very unnecessary. As well as Natasha's coach there in the end, like the last press conference and such. All the while it seemed Lauren took it in stride, but she was counting up the cost that ultimately she would take out of Natasha's ass. Because boy, did she make Jonas pay, y'all. Lauren boxed beautifully. She was fast. She was nimble of foot. She was surgical. Beating Jonas to exchanges. Not once. Allowing Natasha to set the tempo. I mean, she just controlled the fight. Sometimes it just appeared that she just held back or stayed back, because it was just that easy for her. It was something else. There's really nothing else to say here. This was a complete shutout by Lauren Price. She dominated and outclassed Natasha. I highly doubt that Natasha's finished. I think the gentleman who was speaking to her in the ring after the fight was trying to gauge whether or not Natasha wants out the game. Now, before this fight, and some of the disrespect was coming from Natasha wanting to fight Katie Taylor again. And I feel like she probably still wants that, either for her legacy or for the payday, whichever it may be. So I do not believe that Natasha's all the way gone. Maybe she has one foot out the door for sure. As far as Lauren Price goes, shout out to her, man. I look forward to covering her fights yet again. I've been saying she's the truth. Now, let's see if Mayer wants to unify after her fight with Sandy Ryan on the 29th. Who, actually, according to Price, she said she already turned down the fight. Now, I don't know if that's because of she had the fight coming up with Sandy or not, but this would be undisputed. So I don't know what Michaela Mayer's excuse is as it stands right now. Coming up, we have two fights on the 15th. We have Austin Ammo Williams versus Patrice Volney. And we also have Nick Ball versus TJ Doherty for the WBA World Feather title. On the 22nd of March, we have George Kambosos versus Dawood Yordan. On this card will be Sky Nicholson versus Tiara Brown for the WBC World Featherweight title. That is the fight that I'm looking forward to seeing. Now, Saturday, March 29th, we have a rematch between Michaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan. It is a WBO World Welterweight Women's Championship. The co-main will be Brian Norman Jr. versus Derek Cuevas. That is also a title defense for Brian for his WBO World Welterweight title. I will also list here the undercard that will be on this fight. Now, my last little bit of news is probably some news a lot of us don't care to use. That is Katie Taylor, for the third time, fighting Amanda Serrano. They will be fighting July 11th. It will be in Madison Square Garden in New York during the Women's History Month. It is an all-women's card that will be apparently again on Netflix. I must say that I'm not very excited to see this. Many of you understand why. But at the end of the day, it is Amanda's choice to continue to fight this head-butting cheat. I thank you all for listening, and I pray that you are blessed and have a beautiful week coming ahead. Shalom, family. It's official. The 2025 LDBC Meet and Greet in Las Vegas, Nevada, August 9th and 10th. Hosted by none other than 78 Sports TV. Accompanied by many LDBC content creators you know and love. Come through and enjoy the LDBC Basketball Classic, where Team Voltron will take on LDBC Selects. Come on out and have a good time in a family atmosphere. Children are welcome. Get your tickets ASAP. Use code SHAWA to receive $5 off. See you there.